Welcome to the Cosmic Couple.
Welcome back to the Cosmic Couple.
Welcome.
We are going to discuss an article I found on CNBC.com.
Not Cosmo?
Not Cosmo this time, no. Even though that is the Bible. Psychology and relationships is the topic. And the headline is, if you and your partner use any of these 5 phrases regularly, your relationship is stronger than most. Speaking to your partner with respect and appreciation is important, especially in times of conflict. The most successful couples, according to psychologists, regularly express devotion, understanding, and contrition. So John and Julie Gottman are psychologists who have studied more than 40,000 couples in search of answering the question, what makes love last? So here are the 5 phrases that couples who have a strong connection use most. All right, the number 1 is thank you. Here's a quote. A thriving relationship requires an enthusiastic culture of appreciation where we're as good at noticing the things our partners are doing right as we are at noticing what they're doing wrong. What do you think about that?
Well, when I think about it, we do say thank you a lot to each other.
Yeah. Even if it's as simple as, you got the coffee creamer out and you filled yours and then you handed it to me.
Yeah.
I automatically say thank you. It's as much as a reflex response as it is a meaningful, I appreciate you.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because we grew up with mind your please and thank yous.
Yep.
Or if it's embedded in our relationship and that's why it's successful.
Right. So you're saying is it just manners were pounded into us as children and, an automatic response and.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it goes on to say, and this we kind of talked about, this is especially true for small everyday acts. They say, tell them why that small thing is a big deal to you. Thank you for making the coffee every morning. I love waking up to the smell of it and the sounds of you in the kitchen. It just makes me start the day off right.
Definitely. Waking up to the smell of coffee is amazing.
Let's see. Number 2, the phrase is, help me understand this. What do you think about that? You have a quizzical face right now.
Help me understand this.
Harvard psychologist Courtney Warren says successful couples don't avoid conflict. They just better navigate it. We often assume we know what our partner is saying when in reality, they might be expressing something more nuanced or totally different. If your partner reacts to a situation in a way that you don't understand, telling them that you want to know them better is key to resolving conflict and bonding at a deeper level. Now, what do you think?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that, especially in the beginning, you haven't learned how to navigate conflict. And when you bring 2 different people together, you have to figure out what process is going to work for the 2 individuals as a couple. I can immediately react. I just want to get into it. And if I remember correctly, you needed time to sit with it and think about what was important to you or what happened. You needed more time.
Yeah. And that was a big revelation because we'd be having an argument and you would be, I guess more emotional would be the term, but your voice was heightened. You were more energetic. And where for me, like you said, I need time to process. And I would also not become animated or agitated. I would kind of want to discuss it. And I realized that the longer we argued, I eventually did go into the more emotional side, and you needed that show of emotional response to think that I respected the conflict, or that, or your side of it, or that I cared about it.
Yeah, and when I think back on that, there was a lot of yelling in my household growing up. And so if you weren't yelling, it wasn't important to you.
Right. And it wasn't that way in mine. It was very quiet and passive aggressive in a lot of ways. And so,
It was a big thing for us to learn about each other.
yeah, how you communicate in conflict is very important to figure out, between you and your partner. Yeah. Number 3, I can forgive you. Can you forgive me?
That's a good one.
Yeah. How do you interpret that?
Well, when you're arguing or talking through a conflict, one person might get to a place where they can forgive sooner, or maybe it's less severe of an infraction, for a better word.
Yeah.
Because you both have to be willing to let go in order to move on.
That's a good point. Okay. So I'm going to read what's under that. When you're in the heat of an argument or at the end of one, it can be hard to express forgiveness. Do it anyways. Studies have shown that couples who practice forgiveness are more likely to enjoy longer, more satisfying relationships.
Definitely.
That's true. Yeah. Again, like you said, we're all human, mistakes happen. And so as long as the other person is accepting of that, taking responsibility, and then definitely forgive them and let it move on, and not use it as something to hold over their head, like, well, you did this once,
For sure. Absolutely.
Number 4, I am committed to you. What's your initial response to that?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're telling someone that you love them, says that you're committed to them.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not true for everyone.
So underneath I am committed to you says, reassuring your partner that you're still choosing to be with them and to work through challenges will help create a sense of safety and stability. This might seem obvious, but communicating your promise to one another can help you and your partner feel validated.
And it's a choice every day. So definitely reaffirming that commitment is important. And I suppose this isn't necessarily talking about married people. So if you are in a relationship where, you're not married, maybe you need to reaffirm that, yes, I'm committed.
That's a good point. Yeah. If you were to take it out of the married realm, and this is just 2 people that are starting to date, maybe it's getting serious. Yeah, the more you commit, or at least let them know that I'm still in, that just relieves any kind of anxiety of, especially with conflict and arguments. Is this the end? Is this something we can't bypass?
Is it over now?
Yeah. Number 5, I like you. That's it.
I like you.
Underneath that, it says, the healthiest couples don't just love each other, they like each other too. Loving someone is an intense feeling of affection. Liking is about seeing them for who they are and acknowledging the attributes you enjoy about them. Remind them that you like them.
Wow. That never occurred to me, that you could love someone and not like them. Is that what they're suggesting?
Mm.
Is that friendship too?
Yeah, right. I mean, there's the side of the love, the physical attraction, and then there's do you like this person? Do you
want to hang out with them?
Yeah, and I guess that would be the friendship part of any relationship. So, what do you think about those 5 things?
Well, they were all interesting in that sometimes I thought, oh, that's so basic, but then once you really pick it apart, it was much more layered than when I heard it initially.
Yeah. Just the headlines of thank you and help me understand this. I can forgive you. Can you forgive me? I'm committed to you, and I like you. Yeah, I mean, those are the bare bones of the bigger issues there.
Yeah, they did a great job with that.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we just conquered another article. Thanks again for joining us. Set that notification in your favorite podcast platform, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.